John, you guys played these guys a bunch last year, but kind of a rivalry. Where do you see that overflowing this year?
I'm not sure. I mean, sometimes things kind of last into a new year, but other times not so much. So I think in general both teams, looking kind of find more of our game that we had. A week ago or a couple weeks ago. They got off to a really hot start. Obviously eager to get back in the win column, and we want to be playing at a higher level, more like ourselves, even though we've been getting some results. So obviously as tough of a challenge as we're going to get all year. So we need to be at our best.
How do you guys view this other group? Like they're having a bit of trouble scoring goals in the moment, but obviously they have dangerous players. They're on this losing skid. So are they dangerous in some ways right now, especially?
Well, I think they're always dangerous when, with Connor and Leon, two of the biggest game breakers in the league. So, they can change a game in a matter with one moment, one play. So you can't take your foot off the gas or, have any type of letdown. Just complete 60-minute effort is so critical against this group, especially with them being the catalyst. So, whatever the situation is, they'll be motivated and determined like they always are, and then want to be difference makers for their group. I think they got good depth. They play extremely hard. Have done some really good things this year, and it's a long season. So whatever they're going through, we just got to worry about being at our best and understand the challenge they present.
John, how do you get back to the structure when you guys have come off it now the last few games and you haven't been able to rediscover it, even though, like you said, you haven't won a couple? How do you get back to that?
Yeah, just trying to zone in, I think, a couple areas that just keen to unlocking some of the things that bring us success and how when everything's working together, just how well the structure comes into play for us, how much more momentum we generate. So, we're competing against good teams and good players, so you got to recognize those situations and just making some better decisions at times. And so for us, is just continuing, like I said, to be really focused each and every shift. No matter the situation in the game, whether we're up a few or we're down a few, just kind of sticking to what's bringing us success and staying patient with that. I think, the way we've been able to control games and, have good offensive zone time or generate momentum, we want to play that way, but we have to be patient through our process and the way we go about it. And sometimes it's more challenging than others, especially whatever teams present or other players when they're playing well. So, just kind of sticking with it and being patient with our game.
The game against, I know you're focused on tomorrow night, but still the game against Calgary's been postponed because of COVID. Are you guys starting to worry that maybe this COVID thing is making a comeback here and could really upend things, like even the Olympics for you guys?
Well, I would love a prediction on the pandemic. I'm sure as everybody would. So, we're just trying to do our best, dealing with the challenge that it brings, and focusing on what we can control. Obviously, the game's been postponed. The bright side of it is we get a few days to kind of rest and recover and recharge a bit, and just try to make the most of that. Gain an extra practice day. So that'll be a good chance for us to continue to work on things and get better and recharge, and hopefully things only continue to get better and not worse. Obviously, that's out of our control. So we'll see what happens. But it just is what it is at this point.
And as one of the guys in the Olympic conversation, what's your thoughts right now of whether you guys will look to go or stay? Or
yeah, I think we all hope to go, but clearly I think things are a little bit more uneasy than they were. Definitely some questions that we want to look into and have answered. Is obviously there's going to be some hurdles and some challenges with currently what things stand and the way they present themselves. So, but yeah, probably a little more uneasy than at least speaking for myself, than I was a number of weeks ago or a few months ago. So if I get that chance to go, but such a rare opportunity, hopefully we can find a way that it makes sense. But certainly there's some challenges.
One of the things that's being discussed right now is just, the length of a quarantine if something does happen. And I guess as a player, try to wrap your head around the idea that you could be gone to the Olympics and then potentially weeks after. I know you guys want to be there, but your season is so critical.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. It's extremely challenging to wrap your head around that. then getting home. How are we getting home, and what that challenge presents? You know, and we want to go to the Olympic Games feeling good, even though we know it's going to be a different experience. That you're feeling good about playing in the Olympic Games. You don't have something like that hanging over your head, worrying about that, and you feel good about if that situation arises, things are well taken care of, and we can get home. You know, with whatever the best recommendations are, and how we can coordinate those things. Getting back here in North America, and obviously getting back to your teams, getting back to your families. It's obviously it's a significant undertaking, and you know, we'll see where it all kind of shakes out, and what the best decision is for us.
Yeah, and last one on that for me, John, just from the family standpoint, you know, not everybody necessarily has a wife and kids and all that, but it's got to be a pretty significant family discussion too for each guy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, you talk about the 5-week quarantine if you've already been over there for a few weeks, and you know, that's a long time. It's a really long time. Like I said, it's not easy even when the quarantine ends, just getting home and what those challenges present. There's obviously going to be a lot going into this decision, and you know what that is. Obviously things have just come a little bit more uneasy over the last couple of weeks as more information has kind of rolled in. So.
On another note, Dave Tippett said today that Zach Hyman is day-to-day, questionable for tomorrow. How much were you kind of looking forward to playing against your old teammate?
Yeah, I mean, you know, had some great times. A lot of fun playing with Zach. Tremendous human being. Has obviously brought a lot of good things here in Edmonton. So it's been a good battle. He's obviously established himself as one of the premier, I think, power forwards or forecheckers around the league, and does so much for a hockey team now here in Edmonton, and did with us. So yeah, it'll come at some point, but obviously he's dealing with something, and it may not be in tomorrow. So for us, just trying to worry about what we can control, and you know, wish him the best after our match tomorrow. Thanks.
One more? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, John.
Yeah.
Pardon me in the back. I just wanted to take you back a while ago when Connor was trying to do what you did. I know it was in the OHL, like special exemption status. Have you kind of, hard not to have followed his career, but I wonder if you guys have ever stayed in touch, or what do you remember about sort of lending a helping hand to a guy now that is turned into a, well, whether he's the best player in the world or not, but a premier player?
Yeah, you know, I met him for the first time, I think, at that All-Canadians camp that happened a number of years ago, and he was a part of that. And, you know, he came up to me and just asked for some advice on handling, I think, the expectations and what that opportunity was like in going through that. I think he had it to a whole nother level than I did, to be honest, and he's handled it as good as anybody. I think pretty obvious, pretty special player, great person. I've you know, bumped into him here and there, the odd time skated with him in the off season. So yeah, he's just continuing. I think you see the maturity level in his game, and I think even just the way he carries himself, you know, whether that's through talking to you guys or you know, I think, you know, as I can speak for myself, as you get older, you just get more comfortable in your own skin, good sense of the responsibilities and what's kind of asked of you, being in the spotlight, and you know, what that presents. And like I said, him much more than me. So yeah, he's obviously done a tremendous job.